Ever felt like drowning in a sea of business requests, struggling to keep your head above water? Well, as a data engineer, I have been there. Hello everyone, this is Josh. I'm an AI engineer at Google and an ex-data engineer. But by the time I upload this video and you see it, there's a high chance that I would have left Google, but that's a topic for a separate video. For this video, I'm going to talk about 3 career-changing tips that I wish I knew as a junior data engineer. These lessons helped me navigate tricky waters of unrealistic expectations, endless manual tasks, and a lot of miscommunication. But before we go any further into the video, do not forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Let's start with the feeling of being overwhelmed. In fact, I have been there. I remember earlier in the first 1.5 years of my career, I used to spend 12 to 14 hours a day working at times. And that just led to a lot of frustration. I lost all my healthy habits. I didn't eat on time. I didn't even shower on time. I didn't go to the gym. I felt like I was losing control of my life. So tip number 1 is about learning to say no. So let's talk about some scenarios where it's perfectly okay to say no. Number 1 is scope creep. I was recently working on this project and we had about 6 months to complete it. We did it. We did it on time. And right where we were launching that feature and handing it over to respective stakeholders, they came with a new requirement. So number 1 thing, our first question as a team was to ask them, why didn't you come up with this about 6 months ago instead of coming now when the project or product is already built? Next thing I did is we didn't commit anything in the meeting itself. I created kind of a document that highlights that the feature that they are proposing is very different compared to what has already been built. That document contained all the technical details and all the differences between the two requests. Now, once we were able to convince the stakeholders that they are not the same, we also shared an estimate timeline of how long it will take for the new request to be created. Now, second type of request where it's very reasonable to say no to is unrealistic deadlines. A lot of times what happens is at the beginning or at the incubation phase of a project, people are involved in the discussions. So if you're a data engineer, always push yourself to be in those meetings as early as possible in the project. Even if you're not involved in that discussion, you can always say that, see, I was not part of the meeting in which you decided all the timelines, and this is the reason why it is not technically feasible to do in X or Y amount of time, and that's why I'll need more time. Now, next is tasks outside your expertise. Now, this is one mistake that I've seen a lot of freshers make. Whenever they get a task, they would say, yeah, I can do this. Now, while it's completely okay to take on a new task that you have not taken before and upskill in that area, but you need to highlight that first before you take that task on. You cannot, like for example, if you have been coding in Java and then you suddenly get a Python project, you cannot say that you will be completely okay with it. You have to highlight that, see, this is outside of my area of expertise. I will be upskilling, but it will take significantly more amount of time.
Wait, did someone say about upskilling? That's the perfect segue to our video sponsor, Odin School. Do you want to become a data science expert? Odin School has you covered in an industry-aligned curriculum that gets you job ready. The curriculum is designed by industry experts that focuses on the skills which matter the most today, starting with Python to machine learning to data visualizations and even all the way up to AI. And the best part, it is taught live by experienced instructors. The upcoming cohort starts at 31st August. All you have to do is just request a callback and they will get back to you with everything. Course highlights. So there are 115 plus live sessions, 530 plus self-paced learning resources, a lot of labs, and Odin School even offers a dedicated job portal with access to over 500 hiring organizations. Big names like Deloitte, Accenture, Tech Mahindra, Marsh are looking to hire talent from Odin School. With mock interviews, you'll also practice your perfect skills and you'll be ready to impress when it matters the most. You'll also find career transition, upgrade, and career launch stories from people who took this course on this website. So feel free to check it out. And all of this in a cost-efficient package that won't really break your bank. If you're interested in taking the data science journey, visit odinschool.com today. You can also click on the link in the description that will give you additional discounts.
Now that we have talked about the art of saying no, let's talk about the next step, which is automation and monitoring. Earlier in my career, I fell into this trap of doing a lot of tasks manually. Now, at the time, it felt really productive because I could get the results really quickly. But over time, that just led to a lot of human errors in the tasks that I was doing and a lot of sleepless nights. Automation is your superpower as a data engineer. It allows you to streamline repetitive tasks and focus your time on strategic tasks which matter much more. Now let's take a hypothetical example on GCP. Maybe you have some script that is written in Spark and that's reading data from GCS, and after transformations you are loading that data back to GCS. You are loading the data directly onto a BigQuery dataset. Now it's obviously makes sense to do the first iteration of this task manually. If you have to do this like every day, every week, or even every month, it's obviously recommended to do this automatically by using something like Cloud Composer, which has an inbuilt airflow. So it will allow you to trigger things based on some particular trigger or based on some schedule, and it will also allow you to retry automatically when the tasks fail without your interruption. But automation is just one part of the puzzle. Monitoring is equally important. So imagine, even if you have something exactly similar set up on AWS, you are using S3 and EMR and Redshift, right? All these different components. But without logging, if something goes wrong in your pipeline, you feel kind of stuck. You don't know where to begin with. Enabling something like CloudWatch can collect matrices from all these different services at a central place, and enabling this for your application and even logging your custom log requests there is always the best practice. Think of monitoring as an early issue detection system. It can highlight issues even before they arise. They can track even CPU utilization or RAM utilizations of the cluster that you are using. So you can set up thresholds like if it exceeds 75%, just send me an email, so that you now have mitigated this error before even it has reached 100%, and then you can do something about it. Either you can implement auto scaling, or maybe you can see if there's something wrong in your code that requires more optimization. So automation and monitoring improves your efficiency, reliability, and scalability of any data engineering task that you do. It reduces any chance of human errors, and the ultimate thing that you always want in your job, it will give you a lot of peace of mind. Now that we've talked about automation and monitoring and the art of saying no, the last part is the most overlooked part of data engineering. Earlier in my career, I made this mistake that I thought data engineering is just all about coding and pipelines and data scalability and all that. But every job, even data engineering, it's about people, it's about collaborating, and it's about understanding the business problem. You can do all of this by mastering your soft skills. There are two main things that would come into your soft skills. One is communication and second is collaboration. Now let's talk about communication. I remember a project where we were collaborating very closely with the marketing team, and we were presenting how our platform can help them. So I was presenting the solution and I ended up using a lot of terms like SCDs, which is slowly changing dimensions, and partitioning based on dates. It was almost second nature because of my job to know the meaning of those terms. They were used to seeing the final product and they were masters of their own business domain. They did not need a lot of technical expertise. They never knew the meaning of those terms. So that led to a lot of miscommunication down the line, and our project kickoff got delayed because of it. But that was like my understanding, that never assume anything. Just whenever you are presenting something, always present it in a story kind of a way and explain every little detail that you might have taken for granted that the audience understands. And the thing is, you will spend a lot of your time as a data engineer talking to business stakeholders, because well, now data engineering sits in the middle, right? Now if you look at the upstream part, the team which can provide you meaningful data, and if you look at the downstream part, the team that uses the data assets that you created, be it a dashboard or a machine learning model, both sides are extremely business savvy. They're not tech savvy. So we need to understand that as a data engineer, we'll be talking with a lot of non-technical folks. So we have to have that skill of translating business requirements into technical requirements, and also vice versa, like translating tough technical concepts into layman business terms that other people can easily understand. So soft skills in tech world might not be as glamorous as like coding skills, but they are equally important, if not more. So just early in your career, invest a lot in improving your communication skills, collaboration skills, and developing a business acumen in whatever line of business that you're working in, and that will make you an invaluable asset down the line. So there you have it, the career changing tips that I wish I knew when I was a junior data engineer. So let's talk about some scenarios where some of these skills that I mentioned was useful in the project you worked in, or if you have any other skills that you would like to add into this list of category, talk about it in the comment section down below. And as I said, do not forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. See you next time.